Right friends, welcome back to 6th capsule. This is the last one for this week. British Prime Minister in India, and this is her first bilateral visit outside Europe. And if you look at United Kingdom, it has got 4 regions, that is England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. And all of you are familiar with the Brexit. Recently, 52% of the people voted for Brexit, and predominantly less educated, without college degrees, working class voted for Brexit, and urban elite like the persons living in London voted for remaining in European Union, but the less educated without college degrees as well as working class people predominantly voted for Brexit, and it indicates some sort of protectionism, or you can say anti-globalization. And if you look at world and the fallout in the long run because of Brexit, what will happen in the long run? I have listed out 6 points here. United Kingdom may not remain the same after some time because Scotland, it predominantly voted against Brexit, and in due course of time it may ask for independence. Not only that, Northern Ireland is another region, and this may want merger with Republic of Ireland, which is European Union country. Please look into this. Northern Ireland, if they want merger with Republic of Ireland, then United Kingdom may be required to lose both the regions. One is Scotland because of demand for independence, at the same time Northern Ireland. And second point is London is considered as International Financial Services Center, and its image as International Financial Services Center will be affected, and it is not clear at this juncture how the United Kingdom will craft its trade and investment policies after it leaves European Union. Then fourth point is some more countries may try to come out of European Union, and anti-globalization forces may be strengthened. And the classic example is the victory of Donald Trump. Anti-globalization forces, or you can say protectionist forces, are once again visible in United States of America. Donald Trump's victory is a clear pointer to this effect. Then prolonged recession in some countries due to uncertainties. Then it is the end of a spirit of globalism. The recent incidents like Brexit as well as the victory of Donald Trump clearly indicate the end of a spirit of globalism. Let us look at India-UK in recent times. India-UK trade is around $15 billion, which is not much. And London is one of the international financial services centers. And post-Brexit, what will happen to the status of London and what will happen to Indian investments subsequently is not known at this juncture. India has got a substantial presence as far as investments in UK is concerned. A classic case is Jaguar Land Rover. At the same time, Tata Steel invested in UK, and at the same time, UK firms have got a substantial share in Indian businesses. And European Union India Trade Agreement, Free Trade Agreement, which is known as BTIA, Broad-Based Trade and Investment Agreement. This was held up for the past 9 years. Broad-Based Trade and Investment Agreement was held up for the past 9 years because of the disagreement over working visas and higher tariffs. Both the sides are not able to come to the conclusion. But now, as far as UK is concerned, this BTIA has got no significance because anyhow UK is coming out of European Union, and we have to look at trade agreement with UK. Then India is the second largest global job creator in UK, and at the same time third largest source of FDI into UK. And the biggest hurdle is increase in visa costs. And in recent times, several tourists going to European Union are coming back without visiting UK because of higher visa costs. And at the same time, recent rule changes dramatically raised the salary thresholds for those on an intra-company transfer visa, and this will affect Indian software companies. And at the same time, graduates, whoever are studying in United Kingdom, lost the right to work in Britain after getting degree there. And that is the precise reason why Indian students in United Kingdom fell by almost half during the past few years. And during the past 5 to 6 years, when these policies are introduced, it is pertinent to note that Theresa May was the Home Secretary. So you cannot expect much from Theresa May, and annual revenue of Indian IT firms from United Kingdom is around $18 billion. So with this in perspective, let us look at the salient points. Only 2 memorandum of understandings were signed on ease of doing business as well as intellectual property related issues. And India asked the United Kingdom to return 57 fugitives. What is meant by fugitive? Fugitive means they are required and they have done some crime and they are in hiding, so they are called fugitives. So India requested United Kingdom to return 57 fugitives, and they include Vijay Mallya as well as some Sikh extremist groups. And both the sides agreed on enhancing counter-terrorism measures, and here India urged British Prime Minister to review the changes proposed in the visa regime. From April next year, United Kingdom proposed increase in salary thresholds for Tier 2 information and communication technology visas, and at the same time UK is going to introduce immigration skills levy, and this will affect our software firms. That's why India requested British Prime Minister to review these changes. But British Prime Minister is non-committal in this regard. As I have already told you, when these policies were framed, she was the Home Secretary, right? And if you look at other aspects, United Kingdom sought early resolution of Indian government's dispute with Cairn India and Vodafone on retrospective taxation. And another important aspect is India raised the issue of lack of bilateral totalization agreement with UK. You may ask, what is meant by totalization agreement? The present practice is when Indian professionals are working in UK, social security taxes are deducted. What is the need for deducting social security taxes? Our professionals will stay there only 3 years or 5 years and then they will come back. There is no need for social security. Under these circumstances, there is no need to deduct social security taxes. Social security is basically required during old age or when the citizen has left with no job. But Indians stay there for 3 years and they come back. So what is the need for deducting social security taxes? For avoiding this deduction of social security taxes, totalization agreement is required. And India raised the issue of totalization agreement with the UK. Then United Kingdom extended support to India's proposal for a trade facilitation agreement for services at WTO level. And please don't forget, recently India signed trade facilitation agreement with WTO, that is for goods. And at WTO level, trade facilitation agreement for services is not available, and India wants that, and UK extended its support. And India-UK CEOs Forum proposed the setting up of Advanced Material and Manufacturing Technology Center in India with the focus on primary applications in defense and aerospace sectors. And the last point is, British Prime Minister announced that new £900 million masala bonds would be issued in London to finance India's infrastructure plans. And overall, 2 things, or you can say 3 things, are unresolved. One is visas to IT professionals unresolved. Second one is graduates after getting their graduation in UK not able to work there, that is not solved. Third one is totalization agreement, basically to prevent the deduction of social security taxes in that country when our professionals are working there, that is also not solved. So, all the three issues with UK are unresolved after the UK Prime Minister's visit to India. Right friends, with this let us conclude this last capsule, and during 45th week there are important capsules on demonetization of banknotes, then Donald Trump, 45th President and Prime Minister in Japan. These are going to come up during 45th week capsules. So, with this we are concluding this week's capsules. Please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.